All right. So just like yesterday, we want to start by annotating and reading through our problem. So this first problem says, Joe's mom only wants him to watch no more than 5 hours or 300 minutes of TV a week. The average amount of time that TV shows that Joe watches is 50 minutes. How many TV shows can Joe watch a week? All right, so some of the things that I want to point out and I want to annotate in this is the word no more, or the words no more. That is going to indicate what our inequality sign will be. And this is what's a little bit different from yesterday. Yesterday was a bit easier because we could always start by writing that equal sign because they were equations. Today we're writing inequalities, so we know we're going to have to figure out what sign, what inequality sign we're going to use. So no more tells me that whatever we're doing on the left side of the inequality cannot be any more than what's on the right. So I know that everything on my left side has to be less than what's on my right side, or no more than. Is it okay? This is what you want to ask yourself. Is it okay if it's equal to 5 hours or 300 minutes? And in this case, if it's no more than 5 hours, then yes, it's okay if he watches exactly 5 hours. He just can't watch more than. So we're going to have a less than or equal to sign as our inequality sign. So I'm going to start with that. All right, and then I know that he can't watch any more than 300 minutes. I'm going to circle the minutes because I'm given minutes down here again. So I'm going to kind of ignore the 5 hours for now. The average amount of time that TV show, or the average TV show that Joe watches is probably what it should say, is around 50 minutes. Right? And that's important for us to note as well. And then the question we're trying to answer, I'm going to underline that in red here, is how many TV shows can he watch a week? All right, so some of the known information we have that I'm going to jot down. Joe cannot, and this is using kind of the new graphic organizer for today. Yesterday we learned about models and using modeling and kind of drawing out the scenario. Today we're doing graphic organizers. Again, use whatever works best for you once we teach you all the strategies. So moving forward, you can use whichever works for you or whichever makes sense for the problem. But again, when we're teaching it, we do want you to practice it. So Joe can watch no more than 300 minutes of TV per week. I'm just going to draw a little slash sign. Per week. And then his TV shows are about 50 minutes each. All right? Now, that's my known information. Now I need to pick out my variable. And then that's when I'm going to go look back at what I'm solving for. So what I'm solving for is how many TV shows can Joe watch a week? So that's what my variable is going to represent. So I'll put a T for TV as my variable. Again, you could pick any letter that you want to. Most people just choose X. You could use T. You can use whatever you want. T equals the number of TV shows watched. All right, and then the relationship. What's the relationship? I don't love the wording of this, but it definitely is an important concept. Basically, we're wondering, what operation are we going to use? So maybe even on here, I'm going to write operation. And if I'm saying, okay, he can't watch any more than 300 minutes of TV a week, and his average shows about 50 minutes each. So going back here, each, this is such a hugely important word. What type of mathematical operation would I do to replicate each? Or 50 minutes per show? 50 minutes for each of those shows? That's going to be multiplication. And hopefully you guys are able to recognize that on your own. If not, hopefully the more we practice this, the more you'll be able to pick out those keywords. All right, our inequality sign, we already wrote because I like to do that right away, but we know that's going to be a less than or equal to sign. And we know that, I'm going to write that down, is because it said no more than. Just to always double check myself and make sure. Backing up my answer with evidence. All right, now I'm going to write my full inequality. So, I'll come back over here. I'll switch back to, let's do blue. My full inequality. Well, I'm going to start off with the sign that I know I'm using, because I like to always start off by writing my sign. And if I know that whatever he's watching during the week, so that's going to be on this side, can be no more than, in other words, less than or equal to the total amount they gave us. Or you could ask yourself, was there some type of total goal or cutoff or final amount that we're getting to? That's what I kept asking us, our class yesterday. So that would be 300 minutes is going to go on the right side of our inequality sign. All right, so everything on the left side of our sign here can be no more than, or in other words, less than or equal to 300 minutes. All right, and if I know that every show he watches is going to be 50 minutes long, and I know I'm using multiplication, I'm going to say 50 times t, which I can write as just 50t, has to be less than or equal to 300. All right, now I can take this inequality, solve it, and that's going to tell me how many shows that Joe can watch per week. So in order to solve for t, I know I need to isolate my t. This should all be a review. So 50 times t, opposite of multiplication, is division. Whatever I do to one side, I should do to the other. T is less than or equal to 300 divided by 50 gives me 6. And it asks me to say what that means. So I'm going to go over here and say that Joe can watch 6 or less. Is it okay if he watches less than 300 minutes of TV a week? For sure. His mom would probably be stoked. But he definitely can't watch any more. So Joe can watch 6 or less hours of TV. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Not hours. 6 or less TV shows per week. Sorry, always trying to look back and remember what I'm actually answering. So Joe can watch 6 or less TV shows per week.